Welcome to our tutorial on how to use keyframes in CapCut PC. In this video, we'll start from the basics of keyframes and demonstrate how to apply them to move various elements within your project. Let's begin with this video and an image. To start, drag your video onto the timeline, and then overlay the image on the top layer. Adjust the duration of the image to match the video by dragging its right edge. Resize and position the image as needed within the video. Now, move the playback cursor to the point where you want the image to start moving. Make sure the image is selected. On the right side of the CapCut interface, locate the Video Basic tab. Next to Position, you'll find a small diamond icon that says Add Keyframe when hovered over. Click on it to add the first keyframe to the image layer, represented by a diamond shape. Now, move the playback cursor to the time when you want the image to stop moving. Adjust the position of the image on the preview screen to its new location. As you release the mouse after moving it, another keyframe will automatically be added to the image layer. When you play the video, you'll see the smooth transition of the image between the first and second keyframes. To adjust the speed of the movement, simply move the keyframes closer together for a faster animation. Or further apart for a slower one. Remember, for most animations, you'll add two keyframes, one at the beginning and one at the end. This ensures a seamless transition from the initial position to the final destination. This method applies not only to images, but also to text, videos, photos, logos, stickers, and other elements you wish to animate using keyframes. Let's explore rotating an image. To start, click on the small diamond-shaped icon next to Rotate to add a Rotate keyframe. Move the playback cursor forward to set the timing for the rotation effect. Adjust the rotation by adjusting the parameters on the right side to achieve the precise angle you desire. As you rotate, you'll notice another keyframe automatically added to the timeline. We can also rotate the image on the preview screen. Use the up and down arrows for subtle adjustments to the rotation degree. When you play the video, you'll witness the image coming to life with a smooth and engaging rotation animation. Now, let's dive into resizing elements using keyframes. Begin by adding a scale keyframe. Move the playback cursor forward to set the timing for the resizing effect. Adjust the scale parameter or drag the corners of the image on the preview screen to shrink it. Another keyframe will be automatically added to the timeline. Play the video to see the image shrinking. You can also enlarge elements by following a similar process. Click to add the first keyframe. Move the playback cursor slightly forward. Resize the image on the preview screen. And adjust the scale value as needed. When you play the video, you'll observe the image gradually expanding. Now, we can see that all the keyframes we've operated on before. Each animation corresponds to 2 keyframes before and after. This is before and after, and then before and after. We play it so you can see what it looks like. The image moves, and then rotates like this, and then gets smaller, gets bigger. We can also do all of these animations at the same time, but this time let me use text as an example. Start by adding default text to the timeline. Input the text you desire. Customize the text style to suit your preferences. Scroll down. Here, you can find the transform of the text. Click on the diamond-shaped icon on the right to add a keyframe. Move the playback cursor forward slightly. Now, manipulate the text to achieve the desired look. Move its position, rotate it, resize it as needed. As you make these adjustments, a second keyframe will automatically be added to the timeline. When you play the video from the first keyframe to the second keyframe, you'll observe the text smoothly transitioning from one position to another, rotating and resizing simultaneously. Remember, when animating any element, be it an image, graphic, photo, or text, always ensure you have at least 2 keyframes to define the animation sequence. Now let me show you how to zoom in using keyframes. To start, decide when you want the zoom effect to begin. For this demonstration, let's assume we want to zoom in at the beginning of the video. Ensure you have selected the video. Then go to Video Basic and click on the diamond icon next to Scale to add a keyframe. Move the playback cursor forward slightly. Now, to zoom in, drag the scale slider to the right. Or input a value above 100%. The second keyframe will automatically be added to the timeline. Remember, we have 2 keyframes, one at the beginning and one at the end, creating a smooth zoom effect from start to finish. Play the video to see the element zoom in as intended. To control the speed of the zoom, ensure the keyframes are further apart for a slower zoom. And closer together for a faster zoom. Play around with these settings to find the perfect zoom effect for your video content. Now, once you've zoomed in, you can also move the camera. To move the camera, start by adding a position keyframe. Move the playback cursor forward. Then simply adjust the position of the video on the preview screen to where you want it to be, and that's it. Now, when you play the video, you'll see it smoothly transition to the exact position you moved it to. But how can we move and zoom at the same time? Start by adding a transform keyframe. Move the playback cursor forward. Then adjust the position of the video on the preview screen, while also scaling it up slightly. Play the video, and you'll see the video move the camera and zoom in simultaneously, creating a dynamic effect that adds depth and engagement to your video content. Zooming out is just as easy as zooming in. Start by deciding when you want the zoom out effect to begin. For example, let's say you wanted to start around this point. Simply add a transform keyframe at this point. Then move forward slightly. You'll then need to readjust the video back to its original position because you want to zoom out. For the scale, input 100% like this. Press Enter. And for the position, you'll need to change both back to 0, like this. And press Enter, the video will return to its original position. By following these steps, you'll be able to seamlessly incorporate zoom out effects into your videos. To start, bring your video onto the timeline and zoom in for a clearer view. To initiate a fade-in effect, move your playhead to the first frame. Select the clip, go to Video Basic. Scroll down to find Blend Opacity. Adjust the opacity to 0. And create your first keyframe by clicking on the diamond symbol. Let's say we want the clip to fade in within 2 seconds. Move the playhead to 2 seconds, adjust the opacity to 100, and the second keyframe auto-create. Let's see how it looks so far, a smooth fade-in. Now, for the fade-out effect, move the playhead forward, add a third keyframe. Then move the playhead to the end of the video and lower the opacity to 0. There you have your fade-out effect. The same process applies to text. And that's how easy it is to create fade-in and fade-out effects in CapCut. To start, select the video, and then go to the Video Mask tab. Choose the mask shape you prefer, such as a circle. Then adjust the size and add some feathers as needed. Now, if we want to create an in-animation circle effect, place your play cursor where you want a specific effect. Adjust the mask size and position. Select the mask keyframe option. Then, move the play cursor to the end of the video. Make the mask super small to fade it out completely. And the other keyframe will auto-add. Now let me play the video and show you what we have. If you feel the animation is too slow, you can increase the speed by moving the keyframe. The closer the two keyframes are, the faster the speed is, and the farther apart the keyframes are, the slower the speed is. Finally, go to Animation tab, add a fade-out animation for a seamless transition. And there you have it. Have you ever found yourself struggling to delete numerous keyframes in CapCut? Fret not, as I have a handy solution for you. Instead of tediously removing keyframes one by one, let's take a more efficient approach. Start by selecting the track from which you wish to eliminate the keyframes. Right-click, then opt for Show Keyframe Animation. You can see we have keyframes on scale, X, and Y positions, rotate. Begin by expanding the scale keyframes to display them graphically. Now, just click and drag in the scale keyframe area to select all the scale keyframes you want to delete. Once they're highlighted, just hit the delete key on your keyboard. Repeat the same process for the X and Y positions keyframes, rotate keyframes. Now, you've successfully removed multiple keyframes in a matter of seconds. And there you have it, the quickest and easiest method to clear out all keyframes in CapCut. Let's start by making a simple animation. We want to roll it from one point to another. Now, set your initial keyframe for rotation and position. Move the play cursor forward. And adjust the rotation and position. The second keyframe will auto-add. If you feel the animation is too slow, you can increase the speed by moving the keyframe. The closer the two keyframes are, the faster the speed is, and the farther apart the keyframes are, the slower the speed is. If we want to move just the rotation keyframe without affecting the position, press Alt plus K or right-click choose Show Keyframe Animation. This will give you the option to select either rotation or position. Click to expand position X and Y. Delete keyframe. Now, the picture just rotation without affecting the position. If we click to expand rotate, delete keyframe. Now, the picture just moved without rotation. By selecting the rotation keyframe and adjusting its position, you can see how the rotation animation stops while the picture continues to move. And that's it. With these simple steps, you can easily manipulate individual keyframes in CapCut to create smooth animations. Let's take a closer look at speed adjustment with keyframes by creating a zoom effect in our video. Start by accessing the video basics and adding a scale keyframe. Progress the play cursor to the desired point in your video. Adjust the scale to initiate the zoom effect. Spacing keyframes further apart will result in a slower transition, while placing them closer together will accelerate it. For an exceptionally slower zoom effect, increase the distance between keyframes. Conversely, for an exceptionally fast zoom effect, make sure to position the keyframes very close to each other. This speed control technique isn't limited to zoom effects. It also extends to other keyframe types like position and rotation. Widely spaced keyframes yield gradual movements, while closely positioned keyframes produce swift and dynamic effects. And that's it. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. Please give this video a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe to our channel for more tutorials. Thanks for watching. Let's use this clip as an example. Go to Video Basics, add to Keyframes randomly. And adjust the scale and rotation. Let's play it back to see the effect. Now, how do we duplicate these keyframe effects to another clip? Drag the new clip onto the timeline. Right-click on the clip with the keyframe effects, select Copy Attributes. Then, click on the new clip and choose Paste Attributes. You'll see various options. We can ignore Blend and Canvas, so click Cancel. For keyframe timing, choose either Maintain or Stretch to Fit based on your preference. Click Paste. You'll now notice the new clip has the same to keyframes and animation effects. Next, let's try duplicating mask keyframe effects using the same method. And there you have it. I hope this tutorial has been helpful for you. Thanks for watching. It's super easy and can add a dynamic element to your video projects. Let's use this video as an example. To begin, add a position and size keyframe at the point where you want the graph to appear. Then, move the play cursor forward. Adjust the zoom and position of the video as needed. Another keyframe will auto-add. This allows you to create a smooth transition effect leading up to the graph reveal. Next, right-click on the video and select Show Keyframe Animation. Now it's time to add the graph. Navigate to the graph section. Click it. Choose the animation style that fits your video. Options like Ease in 2, or Ease Out work well for zoom effects. Select one that suits your preference. That's it. The graph will smoothly integrate into your video with the selected animation style. I hope this tutorial has been helpful for you. Please give this video a thumbs up share it, and subscribe to our channel for more tutorials. Thanks for watching. Let's take these clips as an example. To start off, add trans from keyframe at the beginning and end of your clip. Click on the starting keyframe and adjust the scale to 200%. Rotate it by 7 degrees. Next, right-click on the clip and select Show Keyframe Animation. Expand the scale option and choose the second keyframe. Click on Graphs and select Ease Out one. Repeat the same steps for the Rotate option. Moving on to Effects, search for Wide Angle in the Effects tab and add it to the timeline. Adjust the duration to match the clip length. And set the effect strength to 100. Add keyframes at the start and end of the effect. Gradually decreasing the strength to 0 in the final keyframe. Continue by copying the effect 6 more times. And then adding the spinning space effect below the wide angle effect. Adjust the settings as follows: twist to 80, filters to 0, amount to 100, rotate 60, and size 40. Add rotate keyframes at the start and end. And in the last keyframe, set the rotate value to 0. For the oblique blur effect, search and add it to the timeline. Set the blur to 100. And add keyframes at the start, middle, and end. Reducing the blur to 0 in the middle keyframe. After applying the effects, click Import and add a white overlay from the stock materials. Adjust its duration to half of the clip's length. And blend it using the overlay option in the video basics. Apply a fade out animation for a seamless transition. Next, add a black overlay on top. And create a rectangular video mask. Select Reverse and adjust the mask size and position. Add some feathering. Then add keyframes at the start, middle, and end of the mask. In the middle keyframe, cover the entire screen with the mask and set the feathering to 5. Finally, copy all the effects and settings for the next clip and repeat the process. And there you have it. We hope this tutorial was helpful for you. Thank you for watching.